Marty, we're into the second game of a huge 3-game week. What's the feeling after Saturday's draw against Cardiff City as we prepare for this match at Oxford?
I think it was a bit of frustration to not be able to get the 3 points, definitely. We knew it was important to achieve a clean sheet, something that it was something we spoke with the players that could give us a foundation to pick more points over the next 6-7 games. But it was a bit of frustration, right? Especially because I will say that the first half, far from being a great first half, but we felt that we had good control, that we were creating more chances than the position. But unfortunately, perhaps the second was not at the same level. So I think that there is a mindset in the team that we need to keep pushing. Obviously, that there is a very important games coming now, and that we need to improve the level of performance that we show against Cardiff.
In terms of the challenge that lies ahead, how beneficial is it to have the experience of what you all went through as a group towards the end of last season and successfully achieved?
Yeah, it might help, especially because some of the players were here. But at the same time, I always say that every game, every season is different. So if you remember, I spoke a lot during summer about expectations, about making sure that whatever we achieved yesterday, it's gone. And now it's a new challenge ahead of us, especially because it was very different. Last season, we were in a position where we were actually chasing. And now we're in a position where actually it's in our hands. We have a gap in between the teams that are in relegation, but the reality is that we are still not with enough points to make sure that we are more calm in the table. So we need to understand that the next 6 games are very important. And as I've been saying all the time to the players, to everyone, that it's very important to finish in a strong way for everyone, for the players individually, from a collective point of view as a team, to make sure that we show a progress. And actually, I think that in the first half of the season, we reached 25 points. So far, we have 21. We want to increase that number.
Is it a very different mental test going from, like you say, last season we were chasing, if you like, and this season perhaps we're being chased from those below?
Yeah, it's a different challenge, but especially because the season, how it has been. It's true that big expectations on summer, then a difficult start. I would say basically because we had some players that had to adapt to the rhythm of English football. Unfortunately, a lot of injuries. Then there was a second part where slowly we recovered some of the players, despite still missing some of them. And the team performed at really high level, I would say. And unfortunately, the trend over the last games is when and again some important players have been injured. So there is a clear relation in between the fact of some important players missing, some key positions that at some moment it's very rare to have 4 centre-halves injured. That happened to us at some moment. At the moment now we're missing all the strikers, 4 strikers at the same time. Is very rare that it happens, but it happened to us. So we just need to get through that and face the adversity, face the challenge, whatever it is, in a positive way. Because I don't want to feel sorry for ourselves. I don't want to moan about this. I just want to find solutions. I just want a team that has the courage, that has the personality to go out no matter what.
What is the solution in terms of that and the issues up front? And people are speculating about what you're going to do. I know you're not going to tell me what you're going to do, but do you know in this moment what you're going to do?
Yeah, we have a good idea about what, after trying to find different solutions, about speaking with the players themselves, about practicing some couple of things. We have a good idea on how we want to approach tomorrow's game. Understanding that it's an unusual situation, but again, I'm here to find solutions, and I'm pretty convinced that whoever will jump tomorrow, in that case in the striker position, will do a good job.
And Oxford, how do you expect them to approach this game? I think it's fair to assume that when they're looking at their remaining fixtures, that they will have earmarked this game for an opportunity to pick up points owing to the position we find ourselves in the league at this moment.
Yeah, I guess that's for everyone involved now in some kind of battle, whatever it's promotion battle, relegation battle, whatever it is, the position you are in the table. Everybody marks those last games of the season in a big way, right? So I'm not expecting at all that it will be an easy game. We know that it's going to be pressure. We know that it's going to be, as it was against Cardiff, perhaps a bit nervy in the beginning, and now the tendency is that some of the teams perhaps try to take less risks, so to say. So you see teams that were trying to build up more from the back now being a little bit more direct. teams that perhaps doesn't press in the same way than some weeks ago, and that's a reflection of how much we are playing for, and we're aware of that, and we just need to make sure that we compete well. We have experienced players that know how to cope those situations, like Jack Colback, Sam Field himself, Jimmy Dunn, that despite still in a good age, they have been involved in a lot of games like this. So we just need to make sure that we play with our personality, believing in ourselves, and making sure that we find our edges, because it's going to be a game where probably set pieces will be very important. Where at this moment of the season, obviously, when you also make a lot of mistakes during a game, that give you a good platform to earn points, to win points, and that's where we need to go.
You've said that you feel in England the atmosphere and the emotion around a stadium has greater impact on matches in this country than perhaps where you've coached and managed elsewhere. Why do you think that is? And is that something that you embrace and enjoy, or would rather they didn't have that level of impact?
No, actually, I remember that when Xavi, my assistant, as you know, he was at some moment, some years ago here in England as well, at Birmingham. He told me something that I think it's very fair, that in Spain, for instance, the games tend to be quite open until someone can score a goal, and then because of the technical and tactical capacity, sometimes the game becomes a little bit more a close game, so to say. While here in England, I have a feeling that sometimes it's the opposite. like the games can be a little bit balanced, but when someone scores a goal, everything changes. So I think it's part of the tradition. It's part of the nature of English football that the crowd can just take a tackle like a big thing, and this is something that perhaps is not that often, not that common in other countries. But speaking with the players themselves, they notice this, and that's why the role of the fans makes a big part of the performance of the teams.
And finally, we'll have a full house in terms of the away end at Oxford on Wednesday. They've got a crucial role to play, as you've just said. How important is calmness amongst your players while there will be that emotion, because it is such a key game?
Well, calmness, but as well, I said to them, I want if someone was looking at us as a team, I would like to see, to recognize a bunch of crazy guys going out to try to take 3 points desperately. That's what I want. I want to see this urgency. So hopefully the calmness is gone at the end of the game with 3 points, and all of us, we can give what this crowd, what these fans deserve, because obviously the last games we have not been at the level that we wanted. So hopefully tomorrow is going to be a good day.